So now let's give you, I want you to, the first thing we're going to talk about is, here's what I want you to write down, blending combos. The most essential element of blending is we take two drills and we combo them, right? So let's just start with the essential one, or just an example. And I'm going to back up for a second. There is no wrong way to blend. There's no wrong way to blend, and there's no right way to blend. What I would say is there's more efficient blends and there's less efficient blends based on who you are. But let's just say you have posterior shoulder pain, and that's the thing that's keeping you from being a better pitcher, right? Well, you may want to do a combo drill of a deceleration, like go Marshall 1, and then Marshall switch, and then Marshall 1, and then Marshall switch. Or Marshall 1, did we learn Marshall 2 or just Marshall switch? Uh-oh. You guys are not trying to get Isaiah fired, are you? All right. So Marshall 1, Marshall 2, Marshall switch, right? Those are all deceleration drills. Okay. So here's another one. We could do arm action drills, like step behind with arm swing and then a quick pick. Step behind with arm swing, then a quick pick. These are what I would say double combos of the same topic. So what would be another example? Drop intos and double crow hops. Do a drop into or drop forward, one of the drop into series, then double crow hop series, then drop into series, double crow hop series. Both of them are working on the same concept, and you're just working in a different way. That's one way to blend. Okay? Another way is to do a deceleration coupled with something else. So we're going to do a deceleration, and then you're going to do a deceleration and then an arm action. So basically we're going deceleration, acceleration, deceleration, acceleration. Because you can do, as Coach Strom, Brent, wouldn't you agree? I can do decel all I want really good, and then I get in the game. That does not mean that's how I'm going to decel in the game. My Marshall 1 may look really pretty, and I get in the game and right? So how do I do that? Well, I do a Marshall 1, and then I do an arm action, regular arm action, where I speed it up, and I go back and forth. So my brain goes, okay, this is how I'm supposed to finish. Remember when Brent talked about he was going to teach thank you, your mother-in-law to golf? He'd start here and finish, right? So what we're doing is, here's where you're supposed to finish, now throw. Here's how you're supposed to finish, now throw. Here's how you're supposed to finish. That's an example of a deceleration blend matched with an arm action. All right, now let's go to the next one. Arm action, and then we can either do lower half loading or lower half unloading or lead leg instability. So let's say, how many by show of hands, I don't want to do this. Forget that I asked that question. If, let's say, you have an arm action, let's say your across the acromial line, inverted W, elevated distal humerus, whatever, and you don't load very well. Now you can do one throw where you're working on your upper body disconnection, and then the next throw you can be working on your loading. Arm action, load. Arm action, load. What about unloading? Arm action, unload. Arm action, unload. Why would you want to do that? Because if you only work on it in isolation, a lot of times your body views that organization as unique. We do not want it to look like unique. We want it to look like these are all the very variations of the same thing. Coach Wallace used to say this is a very good way of saying it. It could be apples and oranges. We want it to be a lot of different apples. Like, a wine sap apple and a delicious apple and a crab apple and all these different apples, right? A Rome apple. That's what we want. So it's all a variation of that same thing. And then you can go lower half loading and lower half unloading or lead leg instability. A lot of you guys have this problem. You don't load it very well. And then when you do load it, it's very unstable. So we're really not sure if your body is smart to not load it that well because you're not stable enough to be able to accept the unloading, or is it that just it's completely different? It's like you're not really it's not anything about your loading. It's separate. So we do those things, or we go unloading and lead leg stability, and that's the thing that Isaiah taught you at the very end with torque 1 with the stability pad. That is one way you can do it. All right.